How are we doing, everyone? This is It's Time to Jam podcast with me, BRAD RIFFRESH. This is the first ever episode. We've got DJ Marko, Mark Johnson from Club 135 on the first episode. It's an absolute belter. We talk about all things sort of the local area, the nightlife, Fusion, his event Dreamland, Club 135. We talk about Hong Kong. There's some brilliant stories in there. If you enjoyed the podcast, then feel free to share it on social media. We're trying to get the word out. So, enjoy.
Hey kids, what time is it?
It's time to jam.
So this is the first podcast we've got. We've got Mark Johnson on. Basically, is DJ Marko, known for 135, Fusion reunions. Just thought I'd get him on because he's sort of a piece of local history with regards to organising the nightlife. So, hello, Mark.
How you doing? You all right?
All right. Just want to get into know a bit more about you. This podcast is basically just about say Whitehaven or West Cumbria and what the preserving the history of what we do and whatnot. How did you get into the nightlife?
Well, yeah, so basically around the 90s, like mid to late 90s, I was playing in rock bands and stuff like that. And obviously going out nightclubbing and stuff as well. And
Were you in a band?
I was in a band called Catch 23 with Daly Rogers and a few of the lads. We used to have a good time doing all of that. The kind of reason I quit doing that was because I was only earning 20 quid.
But what are we talking? What type of rock are we talking?
It was like commercial covers, like like Bon Jovi and.
What were you doing? Small pubs and
pubs and like weddings and some civic halls, like rugby places and all that. It was a good laugh, you know what I mean? It was touring around, just having a good crack with the lads and all that.
How far did you go?
Just Cumbria really and South Scotland and that as well. But it was one of them where it kind of like, it was only 20 quid each, do you know what I mean? It's like, it was never going to be a massive career or anything like that. So we just did it for a DOS. And I moved to New York in the year 2000.
Jesus.
People probably don't know about. And I stayed there for a year. But while I was there, I got offered a gig DJing in a local like pub / nightclub thing.
So did you have any experience before this?
I'd started practicing on some crappy old Gemini decks that you used to be able to get hold of back then. They were like
belt drives.
Yeah. So they were just garbage.
So from there, had you had a gig at this point? Anywhere, have you played a club?
I'd done no gigs at all, but obviously when I was in this nightclub thing, I had made friends with the bar staff and the owner because obviously they must have thought it was cool that they were friends with someone from England. Do you know what I mean? I think that is the only reason why I got a gig. Do you know what I mean? And they were like, do you fancy getting on the microphone and doing some songs? Oh. And I was like, you only want me because I'm English and I've got an English accent and you think it's cool for your little town in New York State that you've got an English DJ. And I didn't think I was famous or anything like that. I knew what they wanted me for, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was this club like? How many was getting in? Was it size venue?
250-ish, 300 a night. And they had another DJ as well. I just kind of done an hour or two a night.
What was this? House music? Or?
Yeah, it was like house and a bit of R&B in that as well back then. But I certainly wasn't mixing properly. Do you know what I mean? It was just a bit of a piss take. But when I came back, I went back into playing in bands and stuff for a while. And I was like, hang on a minute, I can probably make more money from DJing on my own than what I can from being in a band. Because I had a crap with people and they were all like, we get 150 quid a night. This will have been around year 2003. And I thought, I wouldn't mind having a bit of 150 quid a night.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not being greedy, but you know what? 150 is better than 20 quid.
No,
You know what
honestly,
I
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
With DJing and that, it's a lot of people think it's a big industry for a lot of money to be made, and I think the pandemic and that showed that a lot of people weren't as rich as they made out. When you see like these superstar DJs and you see them on like flight in private flights and stuff like that. But like as a DJ, as a pub jockey, like £150 a night in 2003 was actually decent.
It was, and to be fair, I mean, I started doing karaoke and stuff like that in the Whittington Cat. That was probably I think that was my first pub residency.
And what were we playing there, like Chart and Cheese?
Chart and Cheese, and then I started on like a little Denon DN4000 twin deck.
Is that the one with the CD players came out?
Yeah. I started mixing on that, and kind of got a little bit better every week. You know what I mean? And then eventually, a guy called Dave Coates. I don't know if you know Dave.
Yeah, I think so. From
Barrow.
Did he not do
Fusion?
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I vaguely remember meeting him once. I think he did like under 18s as well. That's where.
Now and again, aye.
Yeah.
But he said to me, "Do you want to come and do the party room in Fusion?" Which back then it was only a back room, but it was still a massive gig. And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to do it. How much is it?" Oh, it's like 170 a night.
Right.
I was like, "Fucking hell." 170 a night, that's awesome money, do you know what I mean?
No, but looking back, right,
Yeah.
I know it sounds daft, but think of how much they were making on the door. Like, how many people were they getting in? Like 170, that's like, what, 17 folk at a tenner each, right?
Mental cash.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental. I mean, so yeah, I accepted that gig, kind of wound down doing mobile discos and stuff like that, because I did that for about, I only did it for a year, because I got pissed off with mobile discos.
Yeah.
Because I had an agent, you know what I mean, like a local agent and stuff like that, and he was sending me to gigs and not telling me that it was a wedding. So he was saying to me, "You get 100 quid, and then rock up, take the 100 quid, and I'll take my fee off them direct." So there was one dude that he sent me to in the Washington Central, and I didn't know it was a wedding gig, and I went there. Oh, it's a wedding do. I was like, oh, fucking hell, what am I gonna do here?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I seen the bride and that. I was like, shit, I've only got like a few records and that. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is ridiculous. And back then, obviously, you didn't have a USB pen, or I didn't even use a computer. I just had a big, massive bag of CDs.
And then singles and compilations and stuff like that.
I had records and CDs. I even had laser discs. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
If people can even know what them are. And so I was like, it got ridiculous because I had to go to the cake and find out the fucking name of these people. I was like, oh, it's Mr. and Mrs. Dude, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I got past doing all them. Went to Fusion to do parties and stuff like that.
So what's this at this point? Is it Fusion Backrooms Party Room? Are you doing house music?
It was house music and lots of cheesy shit as well.
2003 would have been sort of like the beginning of the clubland stuff. So you're like,
it was pretty much the start. I mean, I know Simon Kennedy had been doing events and that as well at the time. Millsy had just started doing stuff there. Andy Kelly as well. So everyone kind of. I don't know. That was like pretty much the start of it for me. It was like 2003, where it was like the proper gigs, not messing around anymore, like with little tiny pubs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I felt then like I was a real DJ then.
Yeah, and I can relate to that. Like,
do you know what I mean?
With the names like you're saying there, like Millsy, Andy Kelly, and that, like they, when you think of the community of what Fusion was, they sort of used a lot that I remember. That's who I remember as like the core team, and Simon, and I'm a bit young for that, to be honest with you, but I caught like the very latter years where it was poor. It was like post recession, and it was
early years were awesome.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Just you just have to look at like I mean, Andy was just coming up through the ranks then, and he
Yeah.
was already better than pretty much every DJ in the UK.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, fucking hell, I'm never going to get that good. Do you know what I mean? I was like, just mixing a few tracks together, doing the bits and bobs, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm all right, but I'm never going to be that level. Do you know what I mean? And Millsy was obviously awesome as well because they were putting the time in. It's
Yeah.
like, I think that's what people don't really get is, like, especially now, everyone thinks that they can just get a fucking 200 quid deck off DJ
Controller,
kit.
yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, they're a fucking DJ. And I'm like, no, it sounds like I'm an old bastard to say it, but obviously we were all playing finals and stuff like that. And it was fucking hard. You like, my first gig in the main room of Fusion playing vinyl, I was absolutely fucking shitting myself. Do you know
You've
what
got to
I mean?
remember it was a massive capacity venue as well
Like
for this area.
Yeah, 1,400 capacity.
Yeah.
And we used to regularly play to like 1,400 people. It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
And like, I did a gig in Carlisle as well in Terminal 1 where I think it was, some hard house track I had on anyhow, maybe Till Tears Do Us Part or something like that. And it was playing, someone fucking having a really good time. And he pulls his shirt off, just dancing topless, chucks his shirt into the DJ box, onto the needle of the record.
Yeah, you don't get that anymore. Honestly,
I was like, oh my god, you arsehole! Do you know what I mean? It's like, but that's the kind of crap that used to happen. And I mean, luckily now you don't have to deal with any of that anymore. But,
I know. I've had sort of mishaps and whatnot where you've had like a sound system cut out or whatever for whatever reason. I know I used to have a little residency in John Paul Jones. It was all like chart house music. That's what I was playing at the time. They wanted oldies and stuff, but I sort of got a younger crowd in because obviously it was when I was first starting out and finding my way. A lot of kids from school would when like I was 16 would come down like we can get in here. Like the doormen were all right and whatnot. So they all used to come down. Used to play some like house music and whatnot. Yeah. And then I remember playing one night and someone hit the fire alarm, but obviously the fire alarm's connected to the sound system. Well, so it cut everything out. Yeah. It took like half an hour to get the system back up and running, and like nightmare. Yeah, no, but like we lost everyone. Like no one was sticking around. You'd had a few people standing by the bar having a crack in that, but say we had 50 people in, we probably had 10 when we got to start back up. That's happened to me loads of times. It's just DJ mishaps, isn't it? Like you say, it is. But that's like the modern day vinyl slip, isn't it? Like to lose your crowd. Yeah, it's just horrible. It's the amount of weird crap I've seen happen in nightclubs. Like, I mean, in Fusion back in the early days, because it had a balcony that ran all the way around. Yeah. People thought that it was really cool to dive off it like Superman and then obviously break the legs on the dance floor. There was one guy, as they were like, it got to like, I don't know, 1 o'clock and some people were leaving and another guy rips his shirt off, chucks it out into what he didn't care where it landed, to be honest, but it went on a lighting rig. And back then, they were all like park cans and stuff, so they were like red hot. Like he was giving off a lot of thermal energy, sort of thing. Yeah. So his top's on there, slowly getting hotter and hotter, and I'm DJing away down the bottom, and I'm like, hang on a minute, is someone's fucking shirt on the lighting rig there? And it's not what you can do, but what are you going to do? Go and get a pair of ladders when you've got 1,000 people in the club? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You've just got to wait and see what happens. So I was like, oh, shit. And you could see smoke coming off it. And then eventually it's on fire. And then it drops down onto a full dance floor of people dancing. And there's fucking flames everywhere. I'm like, oh, my God. This is fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like... It's a proper Cumbrian thing, that, though, isn't it? Like, it could only happen around here. Like, I know it sounds daft, but, like, you hear of mad stories. Like, this one is fucking... This is disgusting. I was running an event in Whitehaven for... it was a base metal sort of thing event that I was doing. So it was the second event, I think, a summer do, and it was like everyone had been to barbecues and whatnot, and they came down all summer wearing that on.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the DJs who was on, he tapped me on the shoulder. He says, "Look at that over there." And then right by where the main speaker stood, there was this lad. He must have been fucking 21 or something. Getting with this young lass. I think she's about 20 odd, and they're all over each other and whatnot. Next minute, he puts his hands up her dress. Right? No. Realise that she's got a tampon in. Oh. Right? No, this is disgusting. I know. Right? And then whips it out between his two fingers, flicks it across the dance floor, right over everyone's head. Yeah. And then they sort of leave and stuff like that. They come to like shutting time at like 2 o'clock, 2:30. The cleaners were in there, says, "We didn't go and check, see what he threw across there," because obviously we didn't know at the time. Went over and it was just a disgusting used tampon. That's like Whitehaven style.
I've seen that as well. Yeah, it's grim. They do the grimmest of stuff. I mean, getting back to like, say like 2003. I mean. I think one of the big differences back then compared to now was like literally the amount of gigs. You know what I mean? It was like there was a lot of gigs there back then, but there was only a small amount of DJs that were capable of doing it. So you'd get like, obviously you'd have bedroom DJs and stuff like that.
But they never got on because they simply weren't good enough. Like
that's exactly what it was. I mean, you had to kind of know people and be recommended by others to actually get a gig. I mean, I had an agent from 2003 right through to 2009, and he used to get me gigs or tell me to go and do whatever. You know, he fucking ripped me off something rotten. You know what I mean? But back then, it was kind of like that. You'd
get your regular work though.
Yeah. I had regular work all over the place. If I wasn't doing Fusion, I'd be up in Carlisle. Yeah. I mean, there was a point where I was doing the Lytton Tree, which turned into Party in Carlisle. I'd do that from 9 till 1, and then drive down the M6 to go to Barrow and do a massive fucking boat that they had down there from 3 till 6. And I always remember driving home. I mean, at this point, I was making, I don't know, over $1,000 a week DJing. I'd quit my job and everything. Yeah. And I remember driving home at 8:30 in the morning. I was like, with a massive wallet full of money because it was all cash.
Yeah, cash.
You know what I mean? I was like, fucking hell, this can't last forever. And I was right.
No. Well, you know what I mean? the recession, the smoking ban, and I think camera phones and everything ruined the atmosphere of a lot of places.
You're right. I mean, I started doing events, like putting on my own events in 2005, I think it was.
Right. So what's this at this point?
We'd set up Dreamland at that point.
So your first event was 2005.
Yeah.
I was going to get into that and ask you about it. Yeah. So what's the origins of that?
I mean, before that, I'd moved to Portugal to go and DJ for Wayne Lineker. Right. For a couple of seasons, and which was fucking mental. But yeah, when I came back, I thought, well, the DJing is all good and well, but you're only ever going to make so much out of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I say, I'm not greedy, but I could see that it was limited. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you've quit your job, like a lot of people
rely on.
They want to quit the job and DJ for a living because it is the dream. It's the
dream, isn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought, well, I only quit my job because I was making twice as much money DJing as what I was at my normal job. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I went to my normal job, which was like, I was kind of like, at that point, like managing the Vodafone shop in Workington. Yeah. Like assistant manager / whatever it was. It was bollocks, do you know what I mean? But you realise at that point, when you start making loads of money DJing, you realise how shite your normal job is.
No, but at the same time as well, I know this is sort of a little bit off subject on that, but at the same time, you'd be going to Fusion on a Friday night, and like Vodafone shop's busiest on a Saturday, like so you'd be up early going.
I'm not going to lie, I was asleep in the back office all the time. I didn't give a fuck, do you know what I mean? It's like I'd get in at like 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm at work at fucking 8 o'clock. I was like, how can you survive doing that? Yeah. And I was back then, obviously when I was DJing with Davo, I'd have a normal job. So I was at work like 6 days a week. And then on Wednesdays, we were down in Manchester with the Brutus Gold Love Train show, doing bits and bobs for that.
Random.
Or just like hanging around in the VIP bit for a DOS. Thursday, I would go and do Chicago Rocks in Bolton straight after work. I don't know how I survived. Friday, I was doing, I think it was the Henry Kerr one in Workington that for a couple of months. Saturday, Fusion. Sunday, Chasers. I was like, hang on a fucking minute. Like, I was like,
you're doing a 5-day week, aren't you?
I was never at home. Do you know what I mean? I was like always out, and I think people don't realise, like, it looks like you've achieved stuff in the DJing world, or you've made money or whatever, but I was putting in more hours than enough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was like driving up and down the M6 like all the time. It's an absolute nightmare.
You're only talking about the DJ gigs. You've got to remember, you had to get music. You had to go fucking. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like back then, you couldn't just go onto your computer and download some digital stuff. Yeah. You'd be vinyl and you'd be CD singles, like you were saying before. So that take hours out your day as well. So you had like a 5-day week day job as well as your 5-day a week day job.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. I had any time to do anything, to be honest with you. I mean, but that was the difference then. It's like people put the effort in. I don't want to slag off new DJs coming through now, but it seems like they just want it handed on a plate, some of them. You know
I see a lot of people who kick off over it. Yeah. It's like throwing the toys out the pram and saying, why am I not getting a set? And it's like, well, you haven't done anything to earn that set. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
they take it personally as well. It's like a sense of like entitlement. Yeah. But if you'd been through the dog shit that like I'd been through, I don't want to sound like one of them old people that like my generation was better than the young generation, but it was hard.
I think as a DJ as well, you've got to serve your time a bit. Like, I know it's not a trade as such, but like you've got to do the shit to get to the good. Like,
yeah, definitely. I mean, I went through loads of crap gigs. I had gigs where people were deliberately farting into your microphone and that, and then you got to do the whole rest of the fucking show.
Yeah,
with your microphone stinking of shit.
Oh,
I was like, this is grim. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
but people don't say that end of it, do they? Like, no, they don't. As an aspiring DJ, they just think they should be on there in like a main room on a main event. Yeah. And it's got to be earned, I think.
I mean, I did a gig once. I can't remember what bar it was in, somewhere in Workington, and then I think it was maybe Corner Bar when that opened up. And some guy come up to me and he actually said, "I wish I had your life." I was like, "What are you talking about, you blooming idiot?" Do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's not that good. Do you know what I mean?
They
like,
only see the high points, don't they?
Yeah, they just think you're. I mean, back then I think it was probably a bit more. I don't know, like maybe celebrity DJs and all that made it bigger.
They had a bit of a mystique to them as well. Yeah. Whereas now I know it's a lot live on social media and that, but like there's a bit more of a like, oh, look at him, he gets to go and party all the time. Like, whereas some people be at home and like, oh, I can't go out this weekend, I've got no cash. But,
the partying all the time, it's it's not really like that for some people.
It's not, is it? It's not, no. Yeah. So go on then, Dreamland.
Yeah. So I kind of realised that I was never. The DJing on its own was only go so far. You know what I mean? You were only going to get offered so many gigs or whatever, or like I kind of sat down and thought I need to be able to do something where I'm bringing bigger DJs to the town, whether it be Workington or Whitehaven or whatever. So I decided, obviously, I was in with Fusion at the time. Yeah. So I approached the manager of the club and I was like, look, I wouldn't mind bringing in like Judge Jules or Dave Pearce for a bit of trancey kind of stuff.
So when you started Dreamland out, it was a trance event.
It was going to be like predominantly trance. Yeah, because I love trance.
So this is 2005. Trance had already sort of peaked. So it was So, but there was still a lot of names, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of names out there that I looked at and was on the verge of booking as well. But yeah, we got Judge Jules in. and paid him his massive fee for doing it.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
And I won't lie, I mean, I made all right money from it. You know what I mean? It was good crack.
So your first event, how many would you say?
I think we've got about 900 people.
900 people now would be a mega success.
I know
it's a totally different world and stuff like that, but 900 people for a debut event is unbelievable.
That was our first one was Dave Pierce, which got 600, and then Judge Jules got 900 people, around about that. I mean, a tenner a ticket as well. You know what I mean? It's not bad money, is it? You know what I mean? And then I was like, hang on a minute, these are big, but the name on everyone's lips at that point was the Tidy Boys. Yeah. So I was like, I'd not really looked into like the harder house kind of stuff.
What do you think of hard house?
Oh, I liked it back then. I did actually used to play a little bit of it in the club, like on a normal Saturday night. Not much, do you know what I mean? But I'd filter in a few tracks. But yeah, I thought, well, I'll get the Tidy Boys down, see what the crack is with them. And this was tail end of 2005. And yeah, it just went fucking mental. It was massive, absolutely huge. It was like 1,200 people or something like that.
So who was on the event? Who was on the event that day then?
So we had Millsy, Andy Kelly, myself. I think I got a few lads down from Carlisle as well. Right. And just the Tidy Boys as well.
So was this main room and the back room as well?
Yeah, we used to have Ben Borg and them on in the back room.
Good DJ Ben, by the way. Good house DJ.
And Al Lockie and them. They used to run a night called 155.
Right.
Which was like pure face melting.
That's not for me, that type of stuff. I know, it's really not like. I hate. Awesome. It's called. It's like NRG. Sort of. Yeah. Angry Hoovers 155 plus, and it's just.
It was awesome. I'd like go in there now and again. You just see Ben screaming at people. You know what I mean? He's like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. See, I love my hard house. I like stuff from sort of like 135 to, and I won't exceed 150. I don't think. But for me, that like random firing of Hoovers and stuff like that. It's not for me. That
I mean, but there's quite a lot of girls liked it as well. I was quite surprised.
You've got to remember as well, 2005. Yeah. The tidy nucleus sort of Triple E tracks and all that. It was all massive. It was and another thing as well. It might not have been massive where it originated because it'll have maybe died down. But up here, it was fresh to us. It was all brand new.
Well, they were all got the Tidy Weekenders as well, so obviously that's why they told me to put that on. I wasn't originally going to put it on, but everyone was like, you need to get the Tidy Boys up. So that we had the Tidy Boys up, and then I think 2006 we started looking at the girls. So it was like Lisa Lashes, Lisa Pinup,
Anne Savage.
We didn't get Anne actually.
Amber D.
We had Amber D up as well, yeah. So we went down that road, and then this was like from 2005 to 2007. Awesome times. Club was rocking every week. Everyone was out. No smoking ban. Yeah. I don't even smoke. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me that much. However, as soon as that smoking ban came in I think it was late 2007. My God, what a difference! It was like it went from awesome nightclubbing with loads of atmosphere to pure dog shit overnight. It was like because we had the Tidy Boys on for the second time, like late on in 2007. Yeah. So compared to the first event in 2005 to the second one, they were still just as popular. Yeah. But because the smoking ban had happened, we went from like having 900 to I think it was like 500 people, which in hindsight, let's be honest, it's still a lot of people. But back then it wasn't. Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I mean? I was disappointed to only get 500.
Imagine that though. Imagine getting 500 now and going, yeah.
I know.
Fucking hell. What a shit night we've had.
I know. Well, in the tail end years of Fusion being open, I remember them saying, we're going to shut on Thursdays because we only get 300 people.
Yeah.
If you said that to someone now, they'd be like, are you fucking insane or something? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers. But yeah, the smoking ban changed it all. And like I say, I don't smoke, but it definitely impacted the industry massively, and that was everywhere.
What about the recession?
Yeah, I mean, that was like 2008, 2009, wasn't it? I mean, Fusion took a hit massively in them times because it just went through like pain after pain. So there was like smoke and ban, and then there was like recession, then there was floods. So it had to shut for 6 months due to floods.
From what I know of its history,
Yeah.
I always thought it was 2004 to 2007 was like their glory years.
It was,
so to say, yeah.
I mean, when it first opened in 2000, it was busy as well. But I mean, I was never a massive fan of bounce and donk. I was always into house and trance. But what I will say is that bounce and donk made that club.
Yeah.
At the time,
that's what it's remembered for mostly.
yeah,
isn't it?
at the time, I didn't like it, and I didn't play it that much. I played like normal Clubland, like
Yeah.
extended versions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
So you're more of a flip and fill over like
I
an
was,
Alex K.
I was,
Yeah. So it's I know what you
yeah.
mean.
Eventually, I did start playing a bit of Alex K and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, you realise, like looking back on it now, that it was renowned. It was like a second Wigan Pier or something like that.
I think this area is I know it sounds stupid, but like this area is built like nightlife is built on your bounce and your Mackinac and your hard house. I think that's what it is.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely. Yeah.
round here now, even if you put events on for any of the three, you still get sort of good numbers regardless.
Because you get the older ones as well.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like you can put a house event on and get a few of the younger ones. None of the old ones will go. It's like flogging a dead horse. Do you know what I mean? But like you put, I don't know, some scouse house or bounce on, and it's going to be quite a lot of people there.
Yeah.
For it doesn't matter who you put on. They're all like, yeah, we'll go to that. MC such and such is on, or it's like, well, I mean, they're into MCs, aren't they? Round here a lot.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
it's a very MC orientated. If I had my own way, I wouldn't mind like a host on or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of this. I've seen like a few events, and it's like where they're standing, like they'll stand on the stage, and there's like four of them on the stage, and it's like pass the mic, and then you can't even like fit a vocal tune in. I've played sets where there's been MCs on, and they're like less vocal, and I'm just like, you're scaring people away.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It's too much. It's like, I mean, obviously I'm from a musical background with playing in bands, and I can play piano, I can play guitar and stuff like that. And then when you see people like MCing over a vocal track, you're like, fucking...
It's embarrassing, isn't
what
it?
are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like, they've got no knowledge at all. Yeah, they might have the best rhymes in the world, but you're basically MCing over someone else's voice as well. It's just like ridiculous.
The thing that I found with it is that you can tell a lot of people drew inspiration from the Italian MCs.
Yeah.
So like if you listen to like old CDs, you can tell like there's a few people who I listened to like sort of back in the day, and you listen to like the MCs that come through after that, and then they sort of handled it a bit well. So I'm talking the likes of so your FEZ, your Finchy, they know how to like hold a crowd, and they do, like you've noticed yourself in 135.
Yeah.
As soon as I've got Farrell on the mic, the place uplifts. Do you know what I mean? It's a whole different But then you've got the new generation of MCs who've came through, and nothing against them, like lyrically talented and stuff like that. Yeah. But they just seem to like have no presence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, it sounds like I am going to sound like an old person when I say it, but like it seems like the industry's diluted down a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, that's the way I see it now. It's like back in the like early 2000s and stuff. It was like. It was massive, you know what I mean? Everyone wanted to be a DJ or an MC. Yeah. And you could learn off other people. But now, it's diluted down. I don't see now, like, a lot of young people wanting to do it.
There isn't the next gen at all.
Yeah, that's right.
One of the MCs that stick out to me, and he's sort of, I would call him a new generation. He came through sort of late 2000s, but it's sort of the next generation. Yeah. With Dorsa Donk, and it's MC Easy.
Yeah.
You've had him on, haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
And he's like lyrically talented, and I always thought he's always been my sort of like favourite MC for it.
Yeah.
But I think it took him a while to get his crowd control.
Yeah.
And now he can come on and all he needs to say is like so easy and what, and then the whole crowd are absolutely fucking banging to him. I love it.
They do have good presence, some of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of them. It's like, and then all the people will sing everything what they're doing and that. You know what I mean? It kind of works. It's definitely changed though. It's a lot harder for them now.
Yeah, I think so. So speaking of like your Dreamland and Fusion and stuff like that, can you tell me 3 of your favourite sets that you've done? Like anything that sort of sticks out to you. It doesn't necessarily need to be them venues or that brand.
Yeah, I mean obviously because I was at Fusion for 7 years. I think I was there total, maybe a bit longer. Yeah, that's always the one that sticks out. I mean, I've done clubs all over the north of England because Fusion was owned by Luminar Leisure, which was quite big back in the day, and they'd send you round some of the other ones, like
just to keep it fresh, sort of thing.
Yeah, they'd be like if they needed cover for one of the other ones, they would take you down to like another club so that basically they knew that someone was capable of doing it
and trusted. Yeah.
So we used to do that, but the best sets probably would be in Fusion. So the ones with Judge Jules were quite good back then because he was on the radio at the time. He was massive. He was like top 10 DJs in the world, and to be able to get someone like that to your club,
in our little town as well. Do you know what I mean? You
couldn't do it now because the DJs are all like. If you have a look at the top 10 DJs now, they'll all want like 100 grand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
If I googled it, I reckon, and looked at it, I would say Judge Jules in 2005 would have been in the top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
If you look at someone in the top 10 of the world now, you're sort of thinking like you're sort of Martin Garrix, Armin van Buuren. Like you wouldn't get Armin van Buuren in.
No, you couldn't get them.
No, you couldn't.
In 2000. So getting back to the best sets, so probably the one with the Tidy Boys, the one with obviously Judge Jules. And then I don't know, another one would probably just the Bank Holidays in Fusion. They were awesome. You know, it was like
Lockouts,
1,400 people in there, all going mental, and there'd be like me and Andy and Millsy just rocking the place. It was a good crack. You know what I mean? It was just a great time to be DJing back then. I've never done gigs like that since. You know what I mean?
There's been nothing like it,
No.
I can agree with that. To be honest with you, there's nothing has been as big in Cumbria since. I don't think it's.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, having travelled round as well, and obviously DJed abroad, I've got a good perspective of how good it was.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was better than a lot of places in the north of England.
Yeah,
but
this is what this podcast is about, man. You've got to remember that I'm doing it because. This I don't think people realise how big of impact we had within the dance industry within this area, and how popular it was. But then you see places that had a much smaller thing, and they're remembered as somewhat special. Whereas I think we should be remembering Fusion for what a legendary venue it is.
Well, it was. I mean, the problem is, Cumbria is seen as a bit of a backwater, isn't it? Like, they're just Cumbrians up there. They've got no impact on the scene or whatever like that. But it was huge. But we had, like, to the Dreamland events, we had people coming from Birmingham and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Manchester, Liverpool, all coming up on buses. And I was like, Christ, this is what you can achieve. I didn't have a clue what I was doing at the first. You know what I mean? It's like just throwing money at it left, right and centre. And it was just lucky that back then you could do that.
Would you say it's right time, right place?
Yeah, it was, definitely.
Absolutely.
I think you needed to have a bit of knowledge of what you were doing, but not a great deal. Yeah. And as long as you had a few grand sitting around and you could just chuck it at some DJs, and it was all right. I mean, the one thing you do learn when you get into that world of promoting and putting on your own events is how many shysters there is in the industry. Do you know what I mean? That everyone's trying to rob you of your money and stuff like that. As soon as you've got money flying around, they all want to take a piece of it. I was always a bit standoffish. I never went partying that much. maybe I was a bit boring. Do you know what I mean? But
I'm boring as fuck, mate. This is as exciting as I get. Like I don't go to after parties. I don't do it like that. And as daft as it sounds, I don't get the what's the word? I don't get the urge to be standing in someone's kitchen at 6 a.m.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah. Like as much as it is, I fuck it. The perfect night for me is go and play a set, right? Have a pizza or a McDonald's, go to bed. I'm fucking like I'm an old man in that regard. I'm 25-year-old, but I act like a fucking 55-year-old.
It's the best way to be, really. You don't want to be in someone's kitchen at 7 o'clock in the morning, sniffing lines. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, I was sort of moving on. I know you can't really compare it, but with what you've got going now at 135, can you see a sort of revival of the younger generation coming through?
I mean, I love my club, like the way that it is now. Obviously, we bought it when it was Rock Bar, which was a bit more commercial, sports bar kind of thing. And I don't know, I've kind of just turned it into fusion.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? It's like, it's because I remember how good them times were back then. I'm like, all right, we're gonna upgrade the sound system massively. We're gonna upgrade all the lights and stuff. We're gonna do all the decor. I'm like, right. And then just by coincidence, all this music, I could play a set list from what I used to play in Fusion in 2004 in my club now.
Yeah.
And it would be rammed.
Absolutely.
It's insane. It's mental, you know what I mean?
Is it nostalgia or is it...
I think what it is, it's because the kids that are going out now, like 18, 19, 20-year-old, their mum and dads probably used to go to Fusion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like they've grown up with like all the donk and bounce tracks and stuff like that, all the massive Clubland tracks, like Kelly Lorena and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they all know the songs. And then it doesn't matter if it's a Clubland mix or a bounce mix, as long as they know the words.
Yeah.
Then it's rammed. It's insane.
It is.
Even over the last 4 years, we've moved from doing more housey stuff into doing more bounce because it's just becoming more and more popular again.
Yeah.
It's crackers.
It is. I know a lot of... there is a big bounce upsurge at the minute, sort of. When I first started trying to get gigs and stuff like that out of Cumbria, it was sort of 2013 maybe 2012, and I was just trying because there was nothing local. There was a couple of events on, but they sort of died down. Nobody was interested anymore. And as I say, I think it was that older generation who was going to Fusion. They've all grew up and had kids. Like,
and then now they're all going out.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's mental. I mean, like my girlfriend says, we're going to rename Club 135 Donk 135 because we have that many events on now that are like orientated around that. But, you know, you've got to kind of give people what they want, and that, at the minute that's what they want.
Yeah,
so,
I think we're all aware it will change at some point. But I'd say that I'm thriving at the minute with how it is because I can drive down to Whitehaven that takes me about 4 minutes from my house, and then you can just go and play a set. Like, I don't need to go looking for work in some fucking pub in Burnley. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I mean, the one thing I will say about the bounce and Clubland tunes and all that, which is what I've said to all them lot at work, it's like, it's happy music, You know what I mean? Like, you get a lot of house tracks at like 124 to 126 BPM, and they're fucking miserable. Do you know what I mean? It's
I've noticed a lot of like within house music, even commercially as well. Some of the stuff that gets played, it's played with like moody chords. Do you know what I mean? So it can, like, a lot of the tech stuff. If you listen to it. They play quite moody chords throughout the tracks. Do you know what I mean?
They do. Whereas like bounce and all that, and like a lot of Clubland, it's all like A minor kind of happy tunes. Do you know what I mean? It's
cheesy.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And people, they've obviously went through that much shit over the last few years. You don't want to go to a pub now and listen to someone like basically just having a fucking circle jerk with all the friends, wanking each other off, playing some boring house music, just that you're cooler than me, no, I'm cooler than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, you want to go to a club now, get a couple of drinks, get on the dance floor.
And have a sing-along, isn't it?
And just fucking go mental, do you know what I mean? Have a good laugh. That's what it's all about.
Have you noticed? I obviously don't know, because I think I've only played 2 events since you've opened back up
Yeah.
for years. But have you noticed it's busier? Because I know, obviously, over the pandemic, there was a 2-year period where you get these 16, 17-year-olds who are now 18, 19, who won't have been out, and the urge to go out maybe a bit stronger. Is it busier now?
Yeah, it's definitely busier, yeah. It's, I mean, 2019 will have been our last trading year before, obviously, pandemic crack. And it got to the point where people were coming out at 11:30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now, they're all coming out at 9 because they can't wait to get out and have a good time. I think that's it. As long as you give people a good time, they're going to come out.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter about anything else. If you've got good speakers as well, I mean, that's the other thing I will say is, like, obviously I've had 20 years plus in the industry. A lot of people that go into owning clubs that are not from a DJing background, they don't have a clue what they're doing about, like, how to entertain people, keep them in, and what attracts them there in the first place. They just think that I'll open a nightclub or a pub and people will just rock up. Them days are gone.
Yeah.
Them days were over in the early 90s, do you know what I mean? Like, but people still think like that now. I just don't get it. You've got to give people a reason to come to your place.
I've noticed the difference in 135 since I first played for you until now. You've, like, the decor. It looks quite classy. Like, I know it sounds stupid because it's just at the end. It's like a pub, bar, club, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But it's quite classy, and you can tell, like, the sound system when I was in there a couple of weeks ago. It was fantastic.
We've just upgraded it as well.
Oh, great. But honestly, like, it was really good, and the lighting, I know it goes sort of underappreciated, but fucking the lighting in there is, like, brilliant. Like,
yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously, I did mobile discos and all that malarkey and loads of stuff in the industry. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to look for stuff that's a little bit different. Do you know what I mean? And then have someone that knows what they're doing to put it all up. I mean, we're putting in a new ceiling in the next couple of months. Like, entire new ceiling with an intelligent lighting system put in the whole thing. See, that, like, this is, again, I don't mind spending the money on stuff like that. Whereas a lot of the people that get in the industry are just greedy. They're like, they just want to take it all for themselves and not give any of it back. That's why they fail. Do you know what I mean? Because they just want it all for themselves and don't give it back to the customers. I'll always give it back to the customers because I understand that that's what makes it work.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is why you'll see our place constantly upgrading. It always upgrades all the time. I'm never going to stop with it.
I know. I don't want to be like negative or anything towards it, but when I first started playing in there, I found it quite moody. Like, it was rock bar, so it's like the red light and I found it quite moody. But now it reminds me. I know we sort of played through the sort of winter just been, but when you go in, it's quite summery, isn't it? Like, does that make sense? You go in and it's bright and it gives off a good vibe, and I think it's quite welcoming.
Well, the idea behind it was I basically, because I've obviously spent a lot of time in Ibiza as well. Yeah. And I thought, right, I need a cross between Ibiza and Fusion. Yeah. So that's the whole concept behind the place now, is a mix of both. So it's like a mix between, let's say, Cafe Mambo and Fusion, so which is totally opposite. You know what I mean?
So you're thinking of somewhat like a cool rave club.
It's like somewhere where you could have a house event that'll work, and you can have a donk event that'll work. It's like trying to do both. I think the donk lot are spoiled by it, like, because we're used to fucking dingy back rooms, like as daft as it is. Yeah, it was like I was saying earlier, when I was getting into DJing, I was having to travel 100 miles to get a gig, and I was playing for free. And the thing is, like, I'd turn up and I'd be in a fucking working men's club with like 20 people in there, no lighting system. The speakers were shit quality, dead tinny, and it's like, I can remember like 5 or 6 of these gigs that were just like, I'm just thinking, why am I bothering? But then I like the music that much that like, it sort of works. But now I feel like 135 or even some of the clubs around, like I was playing in Flamingos in Blackpool I like it there.
About 2 weeks ago, and honestly, like, they're spoilt with the venue. Like, it's modern and People care about it. Is it people care about it?
It's hard to find a place where the owners know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best or out like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Far from it. Like, you know what I mean? But if you've been it for long enough and you've been that DJ side of doing stuff as well,
you want to be comfortable, don't you?
Yeah, you do know what you're doing because you've. I mean, I've DJ'd in some fucking pile of shite places. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want my place to be like the ones that I've played in the past, where you rock up and the speakers are all knackered. They've never put any money into them whatsoever. They've replaced all the speakers with crap off the internet, like for £100 or whatever.
Yeah.
The mixers fucking. The classic was a Formula Sound mixer with no knobs on or out like that. You'd rock up and then you're putting your fingers into the actual circuitry to make it work. Do you know what I mean? And then, oh, you didn't mix that correctly. That's because I was being fucking electrocuted by the fucking mixer, you daft bastard. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but that's the kind of place we used to play at back then. And I was like, nah, I'm not having any of this. I mean, I've spent 15 grand on speakers in our spot. You know what I mean? And I don't mind doing it. Yeah. And like I say, it's not going to stop at that. It's going to get more and more and more.
So, like, with regards to, like, what you've got coming up there, like, is there anything you can say on here? And this podcast won't be out until after the weekend, so you can't really do Easter, but what have you got coming up?
So we've got Frequency coming up on Friday. That's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, we've got that tomorrow. We've got Sopranos coming up. We've got absolutely loads of stuff, to be honest with you. I lose track of it myself now. Yeah,
I've seen a few things. There's the Sopranos night. I'm playing for Kenty for This Is Bounce UK.
Oh yeah, Kenty's coming up.
That's the Queen's Jubilee weekend.
It is, in June.
I can imagine you're going to theme it, like, because when we opened the clubs back up, I can remember walking into the club and you had the Boris hanging from the ceiling. I love that. And honestly, I kind of wish you got sort of media attention for it. It would have been good free advertisement. Sort of any publicity is good publicity. Yeah. But the Queen's Jubilee, I can imagine like a lot of crown or something.
It'll be branded up, that one, like, definitely.
Yeah, quality.
We've got I don't know if you've heard. Well, you probably will have heard of him, but a guy called Suat, who's on social media all the time, and he wanders around in an RX-3.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, he goes through like sort of town centres and stuff.
He does. He's coming up in October. That's between me and you.
Well, it's not now. It's the general public.
I know, but he's coming up in October for a set. But I mean, he's massive on there right now. But again, it's about fun. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We're all about that. It's about having a good time, and that guy is all about that. So that's why we looked at getting him up, because he's all about having a laugh.
He's like a megastar, isn't he? He's like a social media, like he's made it without even gigging anywhere. Yeah. Or he might have. I don't know much about him, but it's someone like that they've found like a unique selling point, and they've just went round and now they're playing off it. It's like you booked Davos to play. Yeah. His video that went viral, and it's just like, there's loads of piano players out there, but nobody does the old school. And then all of a sudden, that Christmas thing, that mega mix of him playing the piano and playing all the old classics.
I'm always looking for stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. But now he's made a career out of it. Like,
he's great. Fantastic. He's a really nice lad as well. You know what I mean? He's a spot on guy.
I've always wondered, right? And I know it sounds fucking daft, but do you reckon that was staged?
I think it was. I think he was just having a doss about, wasn't he? But I don't know if he kind of wanted to make it into a career or not. Yeah. But, I mean, the amount of attention it got, it was like hundreds of thousands of views.
It was millions, mate. If you go on YouTube, it's literally millions of views.
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, I always look for stuff like where people are like coming up through the ranks or whatever, or they've done something that everyone likes. Because why wouldn't you want that in your place? Do you know what I mean?
But it's fantastic. Yeah. So next I want to talk about Hong Kong. So,
Hong Kong.
So I go there every year. Obviously not because of the pandemic. Yeah. But I know you like going there yourself.
Yeah,
what attracted you to it?
Well, I was doing kung fu and all that at the time. I've been learning that, and obviously that's the home of where it originated from. So I had a crack with the guy that runs the school out there, and I went there for 2 weeks and got battered continuously.
Was it fun though?
It was good crack. I mean, if people have seen the Ip Man films, that's where all that's from.
Quality there.
So the guy that runs the school there is actually Ip Man's son.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, one of them's died now because he's got 2 sons.
Right.
And so I was basically learning from Ip Man's son himself. He was 90 odd years old.
Yeah.
But he gave me a good couple of slaps, like.
I know. No, honestly, my missus, like we've watched them all like several times, but is it Ip Man 4?
Yeah.
And he's got the cancer and that, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Honestly, my missus is sitting on that sofa, absolutely bawling her eyes out of it. Like it's good though. Like I love kung fu movies and stuff like that.
I mean, I went in there. It was so intimidating. It's only a little room, like size of someone's living room.
It's about respect, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you go in, and you just feel super intimidated, and they're all like they're not big people. Do you know what I mean? Like they're smaller and that, like some of them, but they're still like weapons. You know?
No, but another thing though is the treat it with a lot of respect and stuff like that. Like,
I mean, it was his birthday when I was there, so I went for his birthday meal, and everyone was coming in with obviously red envelopes and presents and all that, and he must have got absolutely tons of stuff.
Oh mate, don't get me started on that. Yeah. When I got married, I got married over there, and people were just giving you wallets, just take it, and I fucking count. It paid for my wedding. Like honestly, it was mental.
I was like, that is what it's all about. Like you say, like respect, and I was like, I'm not saying it should be like that over here. You know what I mean? But
I think there's a lack of though. Like the culture clash is weird. Yeah. With when I first started going over there, like their thing is like I speak a bit of Cantonese, so it's like. So when you go over there, you speak to your elders with names and stuff like it's not just like Iamare fucking whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's
I mean, I'm all for all that respect stuff over there. You know, that's why it's out of everywhere I've been in the world, it's probably my favourite place. I mean, I've lived in New York. I've went to every place that you can imagine in the world. I've been everywhere, Africa and stuff like that, India, but Hong Kong, like. It's probably a little bit different now, but I mean, I was there 4 years ago, but it was just awesome. It was like you could do whatever you want, you know. It's great crack. Look, and you could literally. I went from my hotel. I went jogging up to Lion Rock, which is like. I don't know, like 5 miles away from where my hotel was.
Where were you staying?
In Kowloon.
Yeah. Whereabouts? Do you know?
It'll have been old bit, like midway up. I can't remember the street called now.
Do you know what MTR stop you were at?
Oh, God, I can't remember. I can't remember the actual stop. But it's like literally halfway up near there's a little park there. Yeah.
I know what you're on about, man. I just I'm trying to figure out what area you were in.
I went jogging up to Lion Rock. And you can sit up there for like, I sat up there all day.
The view's amazing now.
It's unbelievable. I was like, I've literally jogged for an hour and I'm now sat on a rock with no one there. And there's 7 million or like 11 million people or whatever just down there. It's absolutely ridiculous.
People don't realise how much of a countryside it's got. It's fucking ridiculous.
I got lost.
Yeah.
I got lost at Lion Rock. I
mean, I'd go, like I've been, but would I fuck be jogging up to it? I don't do jogging, mate.
Honestly, it was good crack.
No, I don't jog. No jogging, no fucking physical exercise. You see all the old people in the park and doing Tai Chi and stuff like that. And it's just a different world, isn't it? Her granddad does a bit of that. Like, he goes out to the local park and like... Yeah. He's at an age now. He's a bit older, and the thing is, he wears a phone around his neck. Yeah. So if we need to ring him, he'll answer his phone. Yeah. And sometimes you see him out there, and he's doing a bit of Tai Chi on the local park. It's fucking mental when you think about it.
Yeah, I loved it there.
What did you think of? Did you go do any nightlife or anything like that?
I did. I mean, I went with some of the lads from the academy thing, and we went to some karaoke nights and that.
Oh man! I was
like, fuck me, this is mental. Do you know what I mean? It's like I was pissed as out on whatever drinks we were all having. You know what I mean? It's like, but the way I would describe them is enthusiastic.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, I'll be honest with you.
What I mean?
I thought I was getting a bit stitched up the first time I went to karaoke bar. I walked in, and have you seen Rush Hour 2? And it's Chris Tucker doing "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." Come on. Well, I went in, and someone was on the fucking karaoke doing that. I thought this is a setup. Unless they're sitting there with that on repeat, and it was just timing it. And it was just it's a bit weird, like because it's not weird. It's fun. I enjoyed it. Like me, I got up and done a bit of Michael Jackson and that as well. I done Billie Jean and I was loving it. It's like you get right into it because they're so enthusiastic about it. It's just.
One place we went in, every single table had a microphone.
It's
so
amazing.
Everyone could join in.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell, this is mental. You know what I mean? But it was all. But over here, if you had a microphone on every table in Whitehaven, some cunt would be blooming MCing.
Or farting
Listen
on the mic.
to my rhymes.
Yeah.
You know, but over there, they're all just singing the actual song.
Yeah. You can just imagine it now, ABBA Dancing Queen and someone going there, check 1, 2, here we go.
They would though, They would.
But it's just one of them things where it's like, it is a different culture, but did you go to any like nightclubs or?
I went to one, I can't remember much about it though. It was, but the technology was awesome. That's what I remember. I mean, I was pissed as out when I went out, but that's the standout thing for me was how much tech was in everything. Like
they're not shy on it, are they?
No, it's like it sounded ridiculously sweet, and I was like, this is berserk. I think it'll have been in the new part of New York, obviously on the island bit. You know what I mean?
I know you're on about sort of Hong Kong Island.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a weird story actually.
Yeah.
The first time I went, I posted a picture with my missus when we got there, and we were up at Victoria Peak, and with all the monkeys on the mountain and stuff.
Yeah.
We're up there, and then do you know Phil Goodall?
Yeah.
Phil messaged me. He says, "All right, mate, I didn't know you were in Hong Kong or not like that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he went, "Oh, well, I used to live out there, didn't I? I've got a few connections that if you want to come and do a set somewhere."
Yeah.
And he's like, obviously he's messaging me from Whitehaven at this point, and I'm like, "Yeah, you can do, I suppose." And then next minute I had this guy, James somewhat or other, ringing me, and he was like he was a Kiwi, he was like, and he's like, I can't do the accent, but he's like, "You all right, mate?" He says, "Hey, you want a DJ?" And I'm like, well, yeah, if you want to. And I was like, he's like, "Come down to this club, be there for 10:30, and then I'll put you on for 2 hours." And I was like, right, okay. And then I didn't have any music or anything. I didn't plan on doing anything. So her uncle drove me to his house, and he's like, "Can you get anything offline or what?" So I went and bought these like $10 memory sticks, which is like £1, and it was like 32 gig or something. So got 2 of them, and then I was like, I can't play what I play in Hong Kong.
Can you imagine?
But and then I thought, well, fuck it, why not? Like, and as daft as it sounds, I downloaded a load of classics and put sort of a couple of hours worth of music on and just go from there. And we went down. It was in Wan Chai, because there's like 2 spots of Wan Chai. It's a bit rougher. It's a bit more like nightclubby, and then there's Lang Kwai Fong, which is like, it's a bit more. What would you call it? You would call it like Cafe Mambo type thing. It's like a bit more.
Is that further around the island? I can't
it's on Hong Kong Island. It's like very touristy. It's near TST, Tsim Sai Chau.
I think I know what you mean.
And it's like basically it's like a strip, but it's up a big hill. It's almost like Magaluf Strip. Yeah. So, anyways, me and my missus and our uncles and that wanted to go and see a fucking like DJing and that. And we're walking up Wan Chai. It's a bit rougher. Yeah. And we're there, and we're walking past like a brothel, right? Yeah. And outside there's like the high seats, and there's an old one with a walking stick. She must have been a 90 something, right? This is backwards, this mate. Yeah. So then there's like loads of these lassies, and honestly they were beautiful. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you, they were fucking gorgeous. Yeah. But like I was with my missus. Like I'm not into that. Like so I carried on walking. This old woman jumped off a seat, and she was going, "Hey, big English boy," and I'm like, "Oh, all right." She goes, "You want to fuck my ladies?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm with my wife," and she looked at her, and she was like. like Lei Ying Man is like, do you speak English or Cantonese? And she's like, I speak Cantonese. And then she said to her, I tell you something. You and your wife, fuck my ladies, come on. And she's I give you a good price. And I'm like, I can't do that. Her uncles and that are just laughing at me. Yeah. And we're walking up the strip and I'm thinking, I don't know what to expect here because I hadn't been at this point to that area. Yeah. And they were all saying it's like very nightclub dingy, but like a good party venue for young people. Yeah. Went there and the whole strip, it was like a Magaluf strip. There was just reps everywhere. Then there was like, and it was mental. So I got to this club and I thought, this is wild, 10:30, and you would think it was 12 o'clock. It was absolutely heaving. And I thought, and I went in and they were playing at the time. It was like Melbourne Bounce, like TJR, and it's like house music with a bit like a bounce feel to it. It's like 125, 128 BPM or whatever. Yeah. And I thought, hey, I might get away with this here. No, do you know what I mean? Like I was just thinking,
it's not too far off. Is
it's like a kick and an offbeat, so right, it's relatable. Yeah. So I went in and I walked through, and it was mental, like just great. It was like at the front there was like a gang of like Jamaican guys, and they were right up for it, giving it beans, and they had like signs and everything like that, and there was it was class. And as you say, all ultra modern tech and that, like the DJ's name was going around the outside on like a LED screen. It was fucking brilliant. And I got up to the DJ box, and this guy must have been fucking a bit backwards. Like he was like, "You're right, mate. Jump on now. I'm going to get pissed." And I was like, "Oh, all right then." I said, "He says there's someone coming after you." Like he says you play a couple of hours, and there'll be another DJ coming on. And I was like, "Oh, right, fine, fair enough." So then we got down to it. I started up with Your Manda Simpson strings, you know? So I was like, it's either gonna empty the place or they're gonna go mental. So I played it, and then the string build-up's coming in, and then it kicked in, and like I was playing a little bit slower. I was playing sort of 140. I wouldn't play anything faster than that. And the place was going mental. I've got a video of these Jamaicans going absolute nuts to it and like grabbing me and stuff like that, saying I fucking love you and all this. And I was like no, but there was like a mixture. There was like French people in there, there was these Jamaicans, loads of Chinese people. There was loads of Chinese people getting off work, say working in the local restaurant or whatever, coming into the nightclub dressed in like the
work uniform.
The work uniform, and they just know they're going out for a few drinks and then going on before the next shift sort of thing. It's like mental.
It is different there, like,
because it's 24/7. Nowhere sleeps. Like you can go out at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and go for a meal. It's mental.
It is.
So I was there and I played the set and whatever, sort of enjoying my night. And these Jamaicans come up and he's going, what's this music? He says, I've never heard of it. He says, it's like Melbourne Bounce, but it's not. And I'm like, no, well, it's like Scouse House sort of thing. He's like, and he's going, Scouse House, bro. And I'm like, yeah. I said, it's 20 years old, this track. And he's like, no, man, no. And I said, honestly, So I give him the USBs and I just said, keep them, whatever. Never heard from him since or anything like that. I didn't expect to, but it just shows you that some people in the world never heard of.
They've never heard it.
Yeah, they've never heard it. But they were like right up for it. It was happy party music.
Yeah. And when I was doing New York and Portugal and that, and you drop in a couple of like clublandy type stuff, they didn't have a clue what it was, but they liked it.
Did they dance?
Yeah. Oh, you know what I mean? It's like, so it's like for some reason that music hasn't reached them people or whatever. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, it works. Like I say, if it feels like feel good music works no matter where it is. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But I got off and this next DJ come on, I couldn't tell you who he was, didn't even really talk that much. I noticed one thing as well. When I was playing, they had two at the time. It was when 2000s first came out, the CDJ 2000s. Two brand new ones. I was like, oh, get in there. Yeah. And the mixer was like a 20-year-old like Allen and Heath mixer, and it was just the sliders were about fucking 7 inches. Do you know what I mean? So, and I was just thinking to myself, like, how the fuck can you? I know they are a solid mixer, to be fair, but like, how the fuck can you afford to pay $2,000 a deck and then you won't even fork out for a decent mixer?
It's mental. Some of the places I've played at, like. It is like that though, isn't it? You know what I mean? You wonder. I used to walk into a club and I wouldn't be bothered. Like eventually, like when I was older and stuff like that, I wouldn't be bothered about what the crowd were going to be like. I was just bothered about what kind of a shit pit the blooming DJ box was going to be, or what kind of garbage you're going to be playing on that night, and if you're going to be able to even DJ properly. Yeah, that's all I was bothered about. I mean, nowadays, I've got 3000s and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Ooh,
like
posh. No, to be honest with you,
there's no slum in it anymore. You know what I mean?
yeah. But as I say, when they were on their 2000s, the DJ came on after me, and I was like, "So what are you doing?" From underneath the 2000, they were up on like stands, so they were like sort of facing diagonal. Underneath them, there was a pair of CDJ 100s. Can you remember them, like the grey ones?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like
and,
little tiny things.
Yeah. They were like small things, and they had like a tiny platter on.
Yeah.
And this guy came on and started playing on them. He's like, I don't play on that new technology. And I was like, all right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's like a blooming beer mat, isn't it? The actual platter on top. I remember them.
But like, he come with a bag of discs. He wasn't even like a DJ bag. It was a carrier bag just of discs.
Yeah.
And he'd come and play. He must have been a regular DJ there, sort of thing. So then I got off, and this Kiwi come to me, James, and he says, "Oh, I fucking loved that, mate. I loved it."
Yeah.
And he's going. Can you come back? I said, "Mate, I need to enjoy my holiday." I says, "Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm only here for a few more days and whatnot." I says, "I'll come back next time, whatever." He says, "I'll tell you what." He says, "Through the day, but when I'm not, I DJ at night. And through the day, I'm a surfing instructor."
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, right. He says, "Do you want to come surfing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I'm actually out on my wife's uncle's boat tomorrow, so I'll sort of see you out there, because it was in Saigon, near the same place."
Yeah.
So whatever. This is the first time I'd met like all of Elaine's family as well.
Yeah.
And oh mate, it was wild, because I got out there and they'd hired like this they had their own small boat, and they hired like a bigger boat. Yeah. So we were flying out on this thing, and we were using it as like a banana boat. We attached a banana to the back, and then I was going on the thing, and they kept calling like my Chinese name to them was like Fat Boy or Fat White Boy. Do you know what I mean? No, it is. No, hey, but it's just one of them things. They used to call me Guai Jai, which is like just white boy. Yeah, but then it's like every time I kept, every time I kept going, it's like you're getting fatter, And I'm like, fuck hell, I know. Just leave me alone. But it's just one of them things. I appreciate it that they're straight with you. Yeah, like if you like. I've seen a couple of things where they'll walk in and they'll say, "You're ugly." Not to me, but like somebody else. Yeah. Or you're fat, and it's just like it gives you incentive to do something about it. Well, yeah. You know? But so we were walking down to the little docks to get onto this boat, and it's like a 5-seater one. So we went out and then we were by their bigger boat that we'd hired out for like, I think you pay like £100, and obviously we just put like a tenner in each sort of thing, and you hire it for the day, and you can go to like the little islands and stuff. So I was there, and then basically what happened was they were like, "Come on then, big fat boy, if you think if you think you're like strong enough on that," he says, "Come and get on this, see how long you can handle on this banana boat." So all the young kids were on it first, and then Elaine's dad went on it. He got like flung off it, and I thought, "Fuck this, I'll show them how it's done." Do you know what I mean? So I got on. And I wrapped my legs around and my arms around, and he's flying. But then he was quite clearly going a lot faster for me than everyone else. And he was going back over his old waves, and I was, and do you know something? I was scared to let go to see, because I was physically like, I'd been on it sort of 10 minutes, and he was trying as hard as he could, swinging it around and stuff like that. Yeah. And then next minute he changes direction and he drives over his old waves, and it flipped upside down at this point. Yeah. And my pants had like hit the water, and my shorts come flying off. And honestly, mate, I was. It sounds daft, but I still wouldn't let go. Yeah. So like all our family are standing there on this big boat looking at me, right? My ass and my balls are hitting the water like this, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what the fuck? I need to let go. I'm embarrassing myself here. I'm just have to let go." So I let go, and by the time I was being so stubborn, so by the time I let go, I hit the water, flipped, come back round and whatnot. Yeah. He sort of like went to turn the thing round to come and get me. My shorts were like lost in the sea. Because it must have been 500, 600 yards away. So there was no chance you were getting them. Yeah. So as they pulled up slowly next to me, they're all laughing their heads off and that. And there was about 20 people there, like on the big boat at this point. They're all there, got the cameras out, taking photos of me just floating in the water with no clothes on. They were all pissing themselves laughing. My missus red as fuck, dead embarrassed. And they were like, "Well, we've got no clothes for you. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do?" So they got the little boat and went back to shore. I was sitting there treading water on my own for 20 minutes. Like, just no clothes on.
Freezing.
But And I was there just treading water, and I thought, what a way to introduce myself to her family. Like, all their kids, every time I go over now, all the young kids were there when we first went. I come back now, and they're like, remember that time you did that? And I'm like, I'm never going to live this down, am I? Honestly, but I was bollock naked, because I just had shorts on, and you could just see me bouncing off the water. They've all got photos of me, and it's just me, like, hanging on by my arms, like, oh. Yeah, embarrassing moment. That
They're like having a good laugh, don't they?
Man, I've just went off an absolute tangent there, but I get excited when we talk about Hong Kong, do you know what I mean? Where did you go, like, scenery-wise?
I went to Victoria Peak, obviously Lion Rock and all that as well. There's a Dragon's Trail run that I did as well.
I've seen that, yeah. That's the actual path, isn't it, through the...
through the mountains and all that. It was a good crack, you know what I mean? It's like... And I went to the Big Buddha as well. Where's that? Is it Lang Tao Island or something like that?
You can get a thing, can't you? Carriage up there. If you
I
want
went
to
up there and spent a day up there with a couple of people. It was good crack, and then spent some nights in some seedier places and all that near. I can't remember what is it, Wang Tao or something like that. Is it near where the airport is? There's like another little bit of
Lang Tao.
Lang Tao.
Yeah. There's a lot of council estates on there. Like,
yeah, we went.
It's quite thing.
We went to some of the bars out there.
Yeah.
It was rough as balls. You know what I mean?
It's rough and ready. That like I know what you mean.
It was a good crack though. We had a good laugh at everyone, even though like hardly anyone spoke English. It was like, I mean, I was there for 2 weeks, and like a lot of the people didn't speak English that I was with. Do you know what I mean? It was like I had to learn little bits and pieces like of their own language. You know what I mean? Just to get by. But what a great time. Didn't need to speak to anyone all the time.
Do you think they're really friendly?
Yeah.
Like, I know it sounds daft, but I've said to my missus, I said, never in my life will I go back to China. And not a chance. Yeah. Just simply because we're in Hong Kong, and we like to do because it's when you're there, you pay, what is it, like 500 quid or whatever for your flight. Yeah. And when you're there, we can go on like a little excursion holiday while you're there. So for us to go to Japan one time, we paid £90. Like, for us to go from here, you're looking 700 quid, you know what I mean?
You definitely are.
So once you're already nearly there.
That's why I stayed in Kowloon as well, because it's the old area, and you know what I mean? It's like, I was looking at hotels on Hong Kong Island. A lot of people won't even understand that it is two separate bits. Do you know what I mean? But like, I just want to go old kind of. You
can tell a difference, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Like when you're there, if you look over at Hong Kong Island, it's like skyscrapers, all like big money, and then if you're over on that side and you look over at the Kowloon side, it's more traditional, and you can see the old feel. The
little alleyways and stuff like that.
I prefer it, to be fair.
I love it like that. I like
food
just buying street food and that. And it was great crack. I was a bit ill, but you get used to it after a couple of days.
Don't get me started on it. Just so you know, this is another little thing as well. Every holiday me and my missus go on, I eat the street food wherever we go. Every holiday I've ever been on, I've shit myself. I'm not even joking.
It is a bit rough, like, but it's nice. Some of it's nice. I mean, I had some ropey meat. I don't know what it was. You know what I mean? It had some nice sauce on it. Yeah.
To be fair, I'll tell a lie. I've been to Hong Kong loads of times, but I've never shit myself in Hong Kong. Right. Everywhere else I have. So we were in Hong Kong. We got married and that there, and then I went on my honeymoon to Thailand. This is just one of many stories of me shitting myself. And we were eating street food. Like Thai food is probably my second favourite after Chinese, because it's just like fucking so nice, and like especially if you get traditional. So we went to Phuket. Have you been in Thailand?
I haven't been to Phuket. No.
Have you been to Thailand at all?
No, I've been. Do I want to go? I do want to go actually, but it's one of them, and it's been stigmatised for the wrong reasons.
But Party Central, or like, oh my god, it was unbelievable. But anyways, on the first night there, I knew I was eating. Like, I got there and I had this like yellow curry, and it's like literally called Thai yellow curry, and I had it, and I thought, I'm going to be badly after this, because it was like off like the crappiest market stall ever. But I just thought I'm going to try the real food. You know what? You don't want to go into like a posh restaurant and have like something that's not.
Or a Mackey's.
Yeah, a Mackey's.
Yeah.
Like, another thing as well,
Yeah.
we took one of our friends, one of my friends took one of our friends to Hong Kong while we were there.
Yeah.
He didn't eat any Chinese food while he was there. Outright refused, right?
You've got to try it, haven't you?
He says, I'll just live off McDonald's. Went to McDonald's and Joey said, doesn't taste the same as home, right? No, right? No, honestly. Do you know what he done?
Yeah.
He lived off tins of baked beans for 2 weeks.
Why? I mean, you've got to try their stuff, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's really good.
There's a lot of normal food there as well. Like, people don't realise that was British until 1995. So,
was I? That's
so
it.
you can go and get a fry up if you want to go and get a fry up. It's like,
I know, that's what I knew. It was obviously it was a British colony and everything. And then you look at all the street signs and they're all British. You're like, oh, it's a bit weird, like, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Thailand, with that curry, oh my god, I was fucking badly. Like, I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Like, I got to the hotel and like all through the night I kept going to the toilet and I was like, and I was being sick in that as well. Like, and she was like, "You've done it again," and I'm like, "I know. Everywhere we go, I've done it in like Africa. I even done it in Spain. Who the fuck gets ill in Spain? Like,
I never really get ill anywhere I go, really.
But I think it's just because I'm willing and open to try the food. And I had like these chicken satay sticks. I think that's probably what it is. It was like a satay sauce, but like I don't know where the chicken was from. And anyways, I fucking shit myself, mate. And then and it was fucking horrible. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Like, no, I wouldn't. I was standing in the. I woke up and then I didn't make it to the toilet. And I was like, oh my fucking god, so embarrassing. So. Have you noticed in Asia, nothing's regulated really, is it?
No.
Like, so, like for instance, Thailand, if you go out to the road, all the electric cables are just hanging over the road and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went out and I thought I need a Red Bull just to perk me up because it drained the energy right out of me.
Yeah.
And I went to the thing and it was like a Thai Red Bull. It was Red Bull.
Yeah.
But like it was them shot ones. Have you heard them shot ones?
Oh fucking hell, they're ridiculous.
Well, no, I'd never had them before. I thought I'll try this. This will perk me up. So I got back to the hotel and I said, before we go out today, because we were meant to go out on a boat trip somewhere, and I just picked it up, necked it, right? Before it got into my stomach, I'd shit myself again. I stood there, right? My missus has got a video of it, and I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's fucking disgusting. I was like, Bradley, sort yourself out. I wasn't even drinking or anything like that, because usually you get an upset stomach and that. So I just drank this Red Bull, and then before it could even get into my stomach, it just fucking spilled out of me. It was disgusting.
I think the worst I've been. I went to prison in.
Mate, I wasn't expecting that.
I went to prison. Well, I didn't actually go to prison, but
arrested, we'll say.
I got arrested in Greece, and I got locked up for 3 days.
Oh, great.
Right, and it's a funny story actually because
this is what we're all about. I want to hear stories.
Right, obviously me and my mates went to Zante and that, and this was like late 90s, and I hadn't even done anything wrong.
No, what did you do?
Right, so this is what happened. We all went out clubbing, right? Had a great time and everything. And then as you do, like, because you're talking about food now, this is what reminded me of it. We all went for a burger at the end of the night. And I had, like, it was drachma back then. It wasn't euros because I'm that fucking old. Do you know what I mean? So I had, like, a certain amount of money left. And I was like, fucking hell, I can get a couple of burgers or I can get a taxi back to the hotel. I was like, I'm having 2 fucking burgers here. Like, I'm
and
getting
just
them.
walk it off.
Yeah, and it's like 5 mile back to the hotel or whatever. So I got the 2 burgers, and the lads like fucked off somewhere else. I didn't know where they went. So I'm on my own, and then I'm like walking back up the dark alley, up the dark like road with just taxis going past and all that. I'm like, this is grim. I'm on my own with 2 burgers and that, but you're pissed, you don't know what's going on.
In a foreign country as well, that's another thing. As well. It's a different feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, and then, like, all of a sudden, these dogs start coming out of the undergrowth, right? It's ridiculous, this. And it's honestly 100% true. Right, so a dog comes out, I give it a little bit of burger, right? And I'm like, oh, there you go, son, there's a little bit of burger for you.
You've started it now.
And then another one comes out, and I'm like, oh, fuck's sake, I'll give another one a bit of burger. So in the end, there's about 6 dogs following us up the road because I've got fucking burgers, and I'm pissed, and then they just want them fed. I'm like, oh, well, I've got 6 friends while walking up the road with us back to the hotel. I thought, I'm going to get rid of them when I get back to the hotel. But I didn't make it back to the hotel because I seen these green lights, like shooting off into the distance. I thought, I'm going to have to, hey, that's a fucking nightclub down there. I'll go there, get a couple of free shots, and then get back to the hotel. Yeah. So I started going down this massive road with green lights and that, right, with the dogs. I thought, it's taking ages to get to this nightclub because there was loads of lights. It was all sparkling everywhere.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the big road that I was walking down was the fucking airport runway. Right?
Oh, God.
And the green lights were the fucking landing lights. And I was walking down the airport runway with 2 burgers and 6 dogs, right? And then all these fucking blue lights start coming, and obviously because I'm walking down a runway, and then the coppers all jump out, start shouting at me in Greek. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And then obviously all these 6 dogs are now my friends. You know what I mean? So the coppers started attacking me with batons and that, right? And I'm like, oh, fucking hell, what are you doing?
Yeah.
My burger! You know what I mean?
All you care about your burger, man?
When you're pissed and when you're starving, I was getting battered and I was bothered about the fucking burgers. But then the dogs were my friends then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they attacked the police.
Oh, for God's
so
sake.
the police all got attacked by
You looked
dogs.
like the local madman at that point. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see these
that's
women
probably
with
what
like
I
10
thought.
cats.
Yeah, and I was like, I was stood there with my burgers, and the coppers was like 3 of them all on the floor getting attacked by dogs. I was laughing my head off. I was like, this is ridiculous. I thought, I'm going to have to, and I just carried on walking, and then obviously more cops come, and then I got locked up in Zante Town prison.
What was that like? Like,
it was fucking hot. It was awful. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I didn't get bummed out like that. You know what I mean? But like, I was in there for 3 days, and the guy from the British consulate had to come, and he eventually said, "Oh, you can get out." But these coppers that they showed me their injuries from these dogs, they've been fucking shredded. Do you know what I mean? I was like,
wild dogs, aren't they?
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
they got absolutely hammered. And I walked out and I was trying to make a joke about it on the way out, and they all fucking scowled at me and that. And went back to my hotel, and my mate, who I went there with, he just thought I'd been away for 3 days shagging some bird.
Oh.
I was like, I've been to prison, you fucking idiot. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I wondered where you were. I thought you just got with some fucking lass or something. I was like,
oh my God.
No, mate, I've been eating fucking cockroaches.
This is pre-mobile as well, so it's like nobody had any contact.
Yeah, I couldn't fucking phone anyone and out. And then he was like, anyhow, are you coming out tonight? I was like, I think I'm going to sit in. I'll sit this one out, mate. You know what I mean? I'm going fucking nowhere. And but that was the kind of crazy shit.
Were you scared?
Well, I just wondered when I was going to get out. I thought I was going to be there for a few weeks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought, how the fuck am I going to get home?
Sort of miss your flight home sort of thing.
Yeah, I thought, I'm not going to get home. No one even knows that I'm in this fucking hellhole. Do you know what I mean? It was fucking grim. It was just like...
Were you not scared of corrupt police, like batting up
well,
the
that's
arse
what
or
they're all
like that?
like. They'd give you a couple of slaps and that, you know what I mean? Like, battering you up and that. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I've done that wrong. It was the dogs, it wasn't me.
No, there's bite marks all over him, and it's dog marks. It's not, you haven't physically attacked anybody.
I was laughing my head off. It's been great. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was one of my most memorable times abroad. Like
Quality.
Yeah.
Stories for days, and that's what it is. It's like you sort of reminisce on it. It's like fucking hell, it was wilder than you remember. Like, look, because obviously as an older person now, you look back and think, fucking hell, I got into like a weird thing.
There's loads of times. I mean, with DJing and that, with DJing for Wayne Lineker.
Yeah.
Some of the fucking crack that used to happen in his place, it was insane. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I was just there being a normal party DJ, bit of house music and whatever. You know what I mean? And done the football matches. I mean, talking about money, he said to me one day, you can take 1% of the bar take if you organise a little team to promote the venue, like on the strip and all that.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking 1%? That's shit. Do you know what I mean? He went, well, I'll tell you what, go on, think about it. And you know, he said, this is the figures that we do in this place. And he told me the figures. And I was like, fuck me. He does 50 fucking grand on a Saturday. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's like 500 quid just for a Saturday. And then I was like, Obviously, it's
Then you've got to
insane.
guarantee the numbers, though. Like, is it 50 grand every weekend? You know,
Well,
it's the
mate,
risk you take, isn't it? I
The
suppose?
money that they used to take back then, like I've said this to a few people in the past, like I honestly don't understand how nightclubs from the 90s failed. I don't get it, because the amount of people going out back then compared to now was like 10 times, 20 times as many. You know what I mean? And the bills, I mean, because I've got a perspective of both sides now. Like, I've been in the DJing side of things, but now I'm obviously a club owner as well.
Yeah.
I know both sides, and I know how much money goes through it, and I know how much you need to make it work. And back then, they must have had extravagant lifestyles, because fucking hell, the money was flowing through them like no tomorrow.
You hear stories and that of like sort of nightclub owners saying like your Ibiza and stuff like that. Who they were just ridiculous. Like it's like booking DJs for, and because obviously it was like a marquee sort of event, they paid them less than what they were charging everywhere else. But yet they were getting fucking 5-6 times more people in there. So it's just mental when you think about it.
Yeah.
So moving on, we've been going an hour and a half. So just time flies and you have fun.
Yeah.
I just want to close it off with a couple of questions I'm going to be asking all the guests.
Yeah.
So in your time of DJing, playing in a band, Fusion, sort of running Dreamland, 135, what is your top 3 memorable tracks that sort of defines your time within the industry?
I think early times it was probably Show Me Love by Robin S. was a big track back then.
That still works now. Like it's crazy, isn't it? It's like that sound's also come back in that the M1 or organ.
It's that kind of thing's back in again, isn't it? And then I think The Dawn by Tony DeVee.
Quality.
Like,
I love the breakdown on that.
Yeah. And then
is that sort of the reminds you of the Tidy Boys?
Yeah,
Dreamland
the
era?
kind of Dreamland era. And well, I mean, I used to play that tune in Fusion as well. I mean, and then obviously Till Tears Do Us Part as well. I mean, another massive track.
Which mix? Because it's been rinsed, mate.
Oh, Flash Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably that one that I used to play.
The one with like the sucking in percussion and that's
I used to play like them 3 tracks probably more than any other. I mean, in Fusion, there's a list of all kinds from different eras of Fusion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like when you think of back then now, like everyone's got a perception of everything in their mind. Yeah. When you think of back then, do you think Heaven's Cry? Like is that what you think?
Yeah, it's like Heaven's Cry that back then and stuff like that. I mean,
in your head, that's what you can hear when you think
Andy
of the club.
Kelly used to play Warrior and stuff like that all the time, and then you could set your clock by Dave Coates playing Poison at 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
every week.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It was like it was mental, but like,
do you not think the anthem's dying out? Like now to create an anthem, there's no
it's
DJ.
rock hard, isn't it?
There's no DJ's got signature tunes either anymore.
No, I was saying this to my missus like yesterday. Like, it's all diluted down now. I mean, when I left school, you talk like in '92. It was like the things that had come out then was like house music had become massive and rave and all that.
It's like Prodigy and that as well.
Yeah, and grunge music. Like,
sort of like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. Them 2 things were huge. Do you know what I mean? It's like it like overtook the world. But now for something to come out that has that kind of an impact, it just doesn't happen anymore, because there's like obviously with technology and stuff like that, there's just so many genres of everything. Yeah, everything's took a piece out of everything else, and there's no, it is diluted down now. It's not like a set 4 or 5 things. Like you had rock, grunge, rave, and that was kind of it for a while.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I find that like the last sort of massive tune that was in bounce, sort of like John Neal's "You and I," like or Decade. Like it's I don't know. It's harder to make an anthem now. Like I obviously write music and that myself. Yeah. And it feels like you put a tune out and then you've got, like I've got like I wouldn't say I've got a following, but I've got a die-hard 20 people who, as soon as I put something out, they'll be all over it. But it feels like they just go, so like, you've done that, what's next? Like, it's never like, go out and play it. Like, I try and, as much as I can, to push my favourite own productions. Like, I did a tune that went all right, that Lifted Me Higher tune. I don't know if you've heard it or not, but like I used it on the after movie for the 135 event and stuff like that, and just so people become familiar with it. And it's like noticeable now, because if I play it out in 135, I played it at the last Sank. Yeah, a lot of the girls know it, but it's one of them things. It's like nothing can be an anthem. Like I can't think of what's a 2022 anthem within.
I know what you mean. I mean, the thing, I've heard some of your stuff, and basically, if you'd have brought out that music in '92, you'd have been in the charts. Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's the difference. Like back then, any kind of like dancey, ravey music was making it into the charts. Whereas now, it's like I say, it's not as big as what it was.
Like the way I see it now, like I think some songs are timeless, right? But if you think about it, if Ultra Beats' Pretty Green Eyes came out now, do you think it would even break the charts? No, it wouldn't. It's just another bounce tune, isn't it? It's like
no one would be asked.
I'm not even just saying bounce. Think of like your old school stuff, like your original mix of Entrance, Set You Free. Yeah. I think that's timeless and everyone knows it. Yeah. But do you think it'd break the charts now?
Probably not.
No.
Because there's so much of it. Yeah. It's like a constant wave of like tons of music that people can bring out, and then one to stand out from the crowd now is fucking virtually impossible.
I seen a statistic that was like, it was mind blowing. It was like per day 80,000 tracks get added to Spotify. Yeah, I know it's not just all one genre, but 80,000 tracks a day. Like it's ridiculous.
I mean, back then you were looking at like, you had to go to a recording studio, you had to learn how to play an instrument, you had to know about music, and then a record label had to actually think that your track was good enough to actually spend thousands of quid on pressing it to a vinyl.
I've got friends who were producers, like producer friends or acquaintances who we regularly have sort of chats and that about it on the phone, and they say like they had some shit tunes that I'd pressed, but knowing, regardless of it being a shit tune or not, like shit production, all right musically, but just half-assed, they knew they were going to sell 2,000 copies just because it's another track out. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now, if I sold 2,000 copies of my latest single, fuck me, I'd probably break the charts. Like, I'm not as daft as it sounds. You probably would get in the top 100 off 2,000 sales.
I think it needs to be. I mean, it's too
accessible.
It's too accessible now. You're right. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. It's like, and I don't know. It's moving forward though, isn't it? You can't really go. You can't stop it.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't go back to just being on vinyl and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Only people that couldn't do that can make it into the charts.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of it, to be honest.
No, it's got to be accessible, but then. Like I say, I think stuff's diluted down a lot now.
I wasn't expecting your top 3 memorable tracks, to be honest. I didn't realise when you would say them that you would go for something as hard house-ish. Like I thought you'd have. Yeah,
I liked them tunes back then. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And Overload was one of my favourites as well. Like that's because it was that era. Yeah, you know what I mean? I still like them now.
I think when you listen to memories, there's always when you listen to a song, there's always memories attached to it. So it's like I listen to songs now that remind me of a summer of whatever year or what you were doing at that time and place. Yeah, it's like you think of the dawn because that was you playing. You were living the dream, living.
Well, I was DJing to 1,400 people. Do you know? I never ever thought I would be able to do that. Yeah. It's like when I first started doing the Whittington Cat in Whitehaven. And I was playing to like 4 drunken idiots and who used to try and rip the microphone off you or whatever. Going from that to doing 1,400 people every week in Fusion, do you know what I mean? It was like insane. So I was kind of lucky that way to be able to get a gig like that. Yeah. Because now, I don't know, people don't get that now, do they?
I wouldn't want to be coming up now. I'm not saying I'm as established as anything, but what I mean is I wouldn't like to be starting all over again now. I think it's a hard market. Like
it is now. I mean, that's why we're trying with our place at 135. It's like trying to bring back some of that kind of, you know, that kind of what it was like to go out then. You know what I mean? I'm ploughing all I can into it to bring it kind of back to that.
Yeah.
But see how it goes. It's working so far.
Yeah. Right. And to sign off, last question I'm also going to ask everybody else is you go to a Chinese takeaway for a meal for one.
Yeah.
What are you getting?
I think I'd get sweet and sour chicken, Hong Kong style. I know it's not even made in Hong Kong. It's better than what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to go chicken balls and chips. Do you know what I mean? I just asking people just because it's just a bit of a fun question, and it's mental when you ask people. Like obviously, my missus got the Chinese and stuff like that, the takeaway in Egremont. But it's weird when you see people's orders sometimes, and you're just like, I would never think of ordering that. Like, do you know what I mean? I know there's so much on the menu as well, and I found that when I went to Hong Kong, obviously it was like there's nothing. It's not the same.
It's not at all.
It's not the same at all. You think
really healthy, isn't it? It's like steamed and boiled stuff, and it's
I've never had so many pigeon feet in my life.
I don't like them. I've tried them when I was about 14, 15 when I first got my missus. She just said try it, and I was like, right, I respect it, but it's not for me.
Yeah, and then pork, I think, was one of the ones I had a lot over there.
Yeah,
trying to be a little bit English, you know what I mean? But
I just want to say thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And do you know what? For a first episode, I think that's been some good stories being told.
Yeah, pleasure being on.
Yeah, is there anything you want to plug before we go?
Come down to my club. It's awesome.
So that's Club 135. Club 135 in Whitehaven. It's open. Are you open Thursdays?
Yep. Sunday.
Thursday to Sunday. Get yourself down there. It's actually a proper good club. You'll get your fix of everything as well, really, won't you? So there you go. Anything else you want to plug?
That'll do. I think we're good.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Nice to be on.